see about Newton's laws of motion. Before that, we will see about momentum. It is easier to stop a tennis ball than a football if both are moving with same velocity. This is because tennis ball has smaller mass than football. If bullet is fired from gun, it easily gets embedded in the wall, but if the same bullet is thrown by hand, it does not get embedded in wall. This is because the bullet fired from the gun has larger velocity than bullet thrown by hand. From our examples, we understand that mass and velocity affect the impact of force on a body. Product of mass and velocity of a body defines a new physical quantity called momentum. Momentum is a vector quantity. Its direction is along the direction of velocity of a body. It is represented by symbol p and its SI unit is kg ms minus 1. Momentum is equals to mass multiplied by velocity, or p is equals to mv. Every moving body possesses momentum. Next, we will compare between balanced external forces and unbalanced external forces. If two or more external forces acting on a body do not cause the body to move, they are referred as balanced external forces. Whereas, if two or more external forces acting on a body do cause the body to move, they are referred as unbalanced external forces. Resultant of these forces acting on body is equals to zero. But whereas in unbalanced external forces, resultant of the forces acting on body is not equal to zero. Example of balanced external forces is a book resting on table. Two forces act on book. First, weight of book which acts vertically downwards. Second, normal reaction exerted by table on book vertically upwards. These two forces are of equal magnitude but opposite in direction, so their resultant is zero. Thus, they do not cause the book to move. Now let's take a look at example of unbalanced external forces. A book being pushed by a force of 5 Newton in each direction. Two forces act on the book. First, force of 10 Newton acting in each direction. Second, kinetic friction acting in west direction in the direction opposite to force. These two forces are in opposite direction but are of different magnitude. So resultant is not zero and thus they cause the book to move. Now let's take a look at observations of Galileo. Galileo demonstrated the relationship between motion and force. He used two inclined smooth planes on which he rolled a ball and he observed the following. The velocity of ball increases when it rolls down the plane and decreases when it rolls up. If ball rolls up between two planes inclined equally, it will attain same height on both sides. When the surface of second plane is rough, the ball would cover less distance. If the inclination of second plane is gradually decreased, ball rolls over a large distance in order to reach same height. When the second plane is horizontal, the ball would continue to move infinitely, but in practice, it comes to rest due to friction between surface of ball and ground. Based on above facts, Galileo concluded that the natural state of a body is not the state of rest. It is tendency of body to oppose change in its state of motion or rest. Now let's take a look at Newton's first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion states that a body remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line unless and until it is compelled to change that state by an external unbalanced force. Newton's first law of motion gives us precise definition of inertia. Now let's take a look at inertia. Inertia is tendency of a body to remain in its state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line. Types of inertia. Inertia of rest. Tendency of body to resist change in its state of rest is called inertia of rest. Inertia of motion. Tendency of body to remain in state of motion along a straight line. Inertia of direction, inability of a body to change direction of its motion. More the mass of body, larger the inertia it has. So mass is measure of inertia. For example, a larger force is required to move a loaded truck than an empty truck. Now let's take a look at Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to net force acting on it and takes place in the direction of net force. We can represent it in this form: F is directly proportional to delta P upon T. Now let's take a look at Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Consider two bodies A and B colliding. Body A exerts force on body B. According to Newton's third law of motion, body B exerts force of equal magnitude on body A but in opposite direction. This is called reaction. Now let's take a look at law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum states that if external forces acting on a system is zero, the total momentum of the system remains constant. Thank you.